Well, listen up, video gamers. We have successfully completed our journey into Slay the Princess, a game that I knew extremely little about before going into it. Honestly, I had a very, very little idea of what this game was all about. I knew it was like I didn't even know it was a visual novel, really. I had like an inkling of it. And I had like an idea in my head what it would be about, but I thought it was going to be like one of those weird horror romance stories, which it kind of was, but more themed. More themed than like oh, you should like maybe she's evil and you like want to save her and you're supposed to like maybe get her out of a castle or something like that. Like you're like a hero sent her to slay the princess, but you actually want to save her instead or something. I was not anticipating this kind of like giant mind-bending narrative that's stretched across all of these kind of multiverses or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, well, I was pleasantly surprised with this game. This ended up being like a super, super, super solid experience that I really, really enjoyed. I think that like I said at the very start of the game, and I said multiple times before, choosing to narrate this game was a huge choice for these people. That's not to say that, you know, it would be impossible to read all this yourself. Like, it wouldn't be, of course. Plenty of people, you know, there are like Doki Doki Literature Club probably has like an equivalent amount of dialogue, maybe a little bit less. But you know, people read all that. But I feel like the narration and the different voices are actually pretty important to the story here. So if you're not reading the contrarian with the contrarian's voice, then it doesn't hit the same, right? I think choosing to voice everything was super, super, super good for this, especially for the princess too, right? Like getting all the different princess voices was really instrumental, especially from a tonal perspective. Like the first time you encounter her, I chose to go like the complete passive route the first time we went down there, right? Which is also why I got one of the rarest, I guess, achievements literally the first time around. But I go down there and she has a very demure voice, like a very like helpless voice. But then she does a perspective change while you're talking to her. And there's also perspective change. It's like, oh, I realize like, oh, if you have the sword when you're going down there, her voice sounds different. So all that is really, really cool, and it's a great, great, great part of the game. So super, super love this being voiced. I think that was a great choice. From a narrative perspective, I guess the overall narrative to say my interpretation of it is that in some world, maybe our world, maybe another world, this narrator being who was just a regular mortal split the god of death into or a god or the god of death, whatever, into multiple sections, segmented it into multiple pieces, and then took one piece of it and with the intention of kind of trapping it in like an alternate dimension forever, I guess. That feels like the intention, or at least. Perhaps the narrator's idea was that this one part of it would kill the other, and then you would let it free and everything would be fine. But it seems like the intention was more for you to show up, to stab the princess to death, and then to be stuck in that eternity forever. But the narrator is telling you, you are really happy now. I think the implication was that the looping and the shattering was a byproduct rather than an intention. That seems to. I think the narrator mentioned that when we talked to him in the mirror world or whatever. I think he said that was like what he wanted to happen. It's just something that happened as a part of this happening. So that's why the narrator doesn't. I guess the narrator understands the looping, but the narrator can't control the looping or anything like that. They're as much, to an extent, they're as much as a part of the journey as you are. They can sometimes force events to happen in the world by describing them, but not always, right? Like they can force you to slay the princess sometimes, but sometimes they cannot. And I think obviously these vessels was not anticipated by the narrator. That's something that happens that the narrator is not aware of. The narrator doesn't know what happens between the different segments, right? At least not fully, but I don't remember if it mentions that when we talk to it during the mirror phase. But yeah, somehow this entity exists. The entity that is death, it exists, and it seems to understand a part of what it is or what it wants, which is the vessels. And the implication seems to be that you can kind of shape death through the vessels that you give it, right? However you behave towards the princess is how the princess changes, and then whatever happens based on that is the vessels that are consumed. With the implication being that when you get to the end, you could potentially choose for if you choose to release death and to be one with death or whatever, then that would, you can interpret those endings differently depending on what vessels you gave it, right? Because those vessels have formed it and shaped it into a different thing. But I think a little bit they do a good job of this. Everything feels really nuanced. It's hard to tell if death is really a significant threat or not, and it's hard to tell if the world you create without death is good. It does feel like that pristine ending we got, whatever it's called, like this one. Destroyer without any outside help and find your new world. This seems like a pretty good ending. I mean, it's hard to say if it's like the best ending ever made or whatever, but that does seem like a pristine ending, I guess you could call it. It seems like an ending without a lot of like loose ends. Though it is cool that a lot of the endings are just kind of like you and the princess, so not death, but like an aspect of death, choosing to remain in whatever this world is, right? I thought all those were wonderful, and it is good that for all of these endings they kind of just leave it up for interpretation. They don't say that if you release death and you go with death, that the world is over, you ruined everything. They don't say that if you kill death, then you made a mistake. So that's really cool. It's kind of just like the story is whatever you kind of want to interpret it as, right? With a narrow baseline going through it. I think all the different princesses are really, really good. I don't know if I particularly had like any super favorites. We honestly only saw the den like once, maybe twice, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. But I really liked a lot of the ones we saw today. Like Happily Ever After was really, really nice. The Princess and the Dragon was super nice. I liked the Spectre overall. I think the the Prisoner was probably one of the more fun ones. The Witch was cool. Stranger, like, yeah, I honestly think a lot of these were really, really cool. It didn't encounter it didn't encounter too many of them too many times. Some of them I encountered significantly less than others. Jesus Christ. Wait, wait, I never got the ending for this one. I just left. Oh no. Whoops. Do you think I was safe for that? That was my first leave ending. I have it right here, I think. Should we jump into it real quick mid-review? I'll just skip the dialogue just so we can see what she looks like.
Her last advice, what I don't the blade, see? Take it. We can try to you step forward. You reach forward, yeah, of Gota.
Continue to basement landing.
You turn to her face
yeah.
droops.
There you are, but still no little knife. Do you need me to break those fragile bones again to remind you how serious this is?
She's bubbling, hot with rage. I know I said this earlier. We know the only way out is through. And we're going. We'll need the steel claw. Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes for run. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance.
Anywhere you go,
I
follow.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist your steel claw.
Take the blade.
So you do want to fight me?
We don't think about all, and we'll take the fight with her. Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door.
We're outside.
You glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think?
Do it. Be swift.
You're falling right into my trap.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Left now. Strike.
Oh my god.
You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. It's nothing. Yes, we're actually. You just.
Yes.
The two of you. She's more. Keep going. You spy on her.
Jesus Christ.
With nothing. These blow. But her gambit wasn't enough.
Something feels wrong.
And?
Alright, we got her. I didn't even realize that. That's a little bit embarrassing. Alright, there we go. Alright, how do I get back to the main menu again? There. Memories. Alright, where was I? Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed all the different paths, and what I especially liked about this game, and I don't know if this is because I'm a giga genius with 600 IQ or not, is that it didn't feel too convoluted to me. A lot of the times when I play games like this that have puzzle elements in them, that have elements where you need to figure things out, that have various endings, it can feel a little bit convoluted to like get to what you want. But I feel like a combination of how the game is set up, like what I explained here with like understanding that everything below here, like everything leads down to each other, right? So adversary can lead to anything below it, likely. Not everything, but some of it, right? I think the only way to get to them with clarity is through Nightmare. And Razor leads nowhere as far as I'm aware, right? But knowing that, you know, this leads here, this leads here, this has to lead here, like you just know the adversary leads here, there's no other choice. That really helped. Being able to read the little tips was really good. Being able to read how to get the endings is good. Like I know how to get this ending, I can't be bothered to do it right now. Same with these ones, I kind of had an idea how to get them. The fact that they succinctly marked some of the end choice answers with red, and you're very likely when you have 5 of them to at least have 1 red, and that gives you a clue in your head, right? You're like, there must be some connection with these red ones, and then you try to find a pattern to it, and I guess the pattern is anytime you defeat her, anytime you win, you get a red answer, I think it is. Because I got non-red on the Fury once, but I think that was through the adversary? And I think I just let her kill me or something. But then when we went through the tower, I got a red answer here. So there's some sort of pattern there, and I think it is just if you fight back and win, then you get the red answer, I think. And the fact that kind of leads to the like independent ending, where you've shown that you don't need the voice in your head. You're independent. You can make the right choice yourself. Is really cool. Also needs to be said, like the voices are also really cool. Great choice of having all the different voices. I would love to have seen all the different voice choices for all the different scenes, but this feels like a not a multiple player thing, but like a watch someone stream it thing. This seems like a really great game to watch people play, and I'll probably look up people that I know that have hopefully played this game. I know Ezekiel played it. I'll piss voted somewhere for it, because it's the type of game that is probably really fun to watch, I think, if you played it before. Because you get the benefit of knowing what's going to happen, but you can also get the benefit of seeing scenes you haven't seen before, or interactions you didn't think about yourself, which is super cool, right? Like I barely seen anything here. Well, I guess I saw a bunch now, but anything here? Yeah. So like, if I watch someone else do this and they go to the apotheosis, I can be really locked in, like, oh damn, they got there with this voice, so and this thing is happening, which is super cool. So great like a game for not necessarily replayability, but for rewatchability, I should say. Tearless voices? Sure, we can do tearless voices. Oh god, that is an opening for me. Play the princess voices. I can't open that website. Is this part of my problem? Oh no, now it opened. Never mind. Let's do the tier list last. I have some last stuff I want to say before we do the tier list. Here's also music is great. This game has great music, absolutely fantastic. So what I do in this menu right now is whatever character I go to is the menu that music that plays when you buy that character. So like, I know the music is too loud in your guys, so you guys can probably barely hear it, but this is super cool. The fact that every character has their own theme, absolutely fantastic. If I'm gonna give the game a little bit of criticism, and I don't think this is necessary criticism that would apply to a lot of people, but it was applying to me towards the end there. The game does have a lot of repeated dialogue that is fun when you start the game, that gets more and more tedious as you continue the game. So for instance, every time you encounter the mirror, regardless of what path you're doing, like every time you get to tier 3, right, and each chapter 3 part, the fact that every time you get into the cabin, they have to do the mirror shtick every time, and you have to sit through it every time, that gets kind of tedious over time. There's a lot of this repeated, like, oh, you go down the stairs, oh, let me describe the stairs, like, all of that gets a little bit tedious over time, especially when you have a lot of voices, and they're all kind of feeding into the narrative, like everyone has to say their bit. That does, like, I was only bored of it at the end there. We've been playing this for what, like 20 hours, something like that. So you know, I'm not gonna say this is a huge gripe of the game, but definitely towards the end there I was like skipping through some dialogue, just like, okay, I get it, you're gonna we're gonna walk down the stairs. He's gonna say, oh, the stairs are bad, you want to go kill her, and then you're gonna walk downstairs and blah blah blah, and then the stubborn is gonna say something, and then the smitten can say whatever he wants, but then, you know, the cold is gonna say something, right? That stuff gets a little bit tedious over time, I think. And here's the thing, you can like I did, you can just kind of skip over it a little bit, just like skim it in your head, and it's fine. Because it's not tedious when you're starting the game and you're going through the paths for the most part. It just gets a little bit tedious over time. So not a huge gripe, but definitely something that like would stop me from wanting to do more in the game. Like, I don't really feel like sitting through a bunch of the same kind of dialogue, asking the same type of questions over and over again. So yeah, that's like a small gripe. And also, I think I didn't mention too, not a gripe, but I do think the princess in this is fantastic. Like, they did such a good job of all the different princesses, making them all varied and likable and awful in their own ways. Always leaving you kind of like on the edge of your seat, thinking, is this one going to betray me? Is this a good one? Is this a bad one? Kind of trying to make conclusions and figuring out how things are going to go. I think they did a really good job of that. And when the game says at the start that it's a love story, like, I really felt that playing it. It did really feel like this is a very true love story between these two characters, right? Where regardless of what you do, there's a relationship building there, and you can't even be the most awful all the time. It's impossible. The game forces you to be nice sometimes. So that's great. I really like that, and it was an actual engaging relationship. Whether it's love or it's like, you know, they're soulmates, or they're two separate pieces of the same thing. I really enjoyed that throughout the game. So that was super good. Let's see here. I need to add. I'll just add this to my list in my regular browser. Because my stream browser isn't working anymore. Oh god, I don't know what my password is for the GG website. I figured it out. I also won't be able to show the ranking, unfortunately, but I'll describe to you guys what I'm doing. Because my stream browser is not working right now, unfortunately, so... let me see here. Slay the princess... Okay, let me see. Game list... Endalines. Which 5? What is my game list called again? Oh, there. Twitch TV, Endaline game list. Gotcha. Slay the princess. Slay the princess, quick! Okay, let's look at this tier list real quick, and then we'll... We're not eating right now. Alright. What am I judging? Like, how much I enjoyed them? Is that what I'm judging them on? How good of people they are, just overall? Okay, so let's do the narrator last. I think from just how utterly useful they are, and how good they are to help you, and how well they get the job done, the stubborn gets an S rank. Rank them based on how likely you are to invite them to dinner. Okay, sure. That scene where and I think this is the stubborn. Correct me if I'm wrong. The scene where we're split into pieces and the stubborn keeps resurrecting us over and over and over again. Great scene. Great example of why the stubborn deserves to be exactly at the S rank. The stubborn never lets you down. The stubborn will keep going no matter what. The smitten. I mean, the smitten is like the smitten is my favorite voice in the game by far. Will serve as an inspiration for my next Warhammer character, 100%. Or whatever character I play in any tabletop game is going to be the smitten, essentially. I'm just gonna channel my inner the smitten, and it's going to be fantastic. Just every time there's a what. I would skip through some dialogue at the end there. I will never willingly skip over the smitten. Never. It's never gonna happen. I honestly remember very little. You're correct, that was stubborn, yeah. I remember very little from the Skeptic. Very, very, very little. I don't think I had the Skeptic very often, honestly. So I'm just gonna have to put the Skeptic down here at the D rank. I can barely remember like the Skeptic doing anything, honestly. But I think I rarely got that one. It might be a rare voice or something. I vaguely remember something with the Skeptic, but yeah, I like too vague for me. I don't remember. Paranoid goes up here too. Paranoid also a Giga MVP. I mean, you know, without the Paranoid, when we face the Wraith, the Nightmare, game over. GG no re. The Paranoid, always a good voice to have in your head. He's in Prisoner and happy ending rarely. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so I've barely heard the voice of the Skeptic. But yeah, Paranoid also Giga MVP, easily S rank, I think. Paranoid, always helpful, always keeps us going, always able to help, always a voice of reason. Okay, voice of the opportunist. Heart, lung, liver, nerves, exactly. I think I'd put the opportunist at a B rank. I think the opportunist usually assists in making decent choices, but the opportunist doesn't care really. He just takes advantage of situations, which is in the name. So a little bit too flip-floppy for my taste. Maybe even a C rank, honestly. I'll put the opportunist on C rank. The opportunist can be useful. I'm not saying that he's not useful. I'm just saying that he will only take advantage of situations that are put in front of him, and he will never independently do something useful by himself. The Hunted is a pretty good voice. We rarely got to hear the Hunted towards the end there, but I think I would put the Hunted up at an A rank. The Hunted has really good instincts. When I remember when we first in the Beast Den, the Hunted like told us what to do, and it was correct every time. Like, oh, move to the left, move to the right, like dodge away, and that helped us make sure that our Beast friend didn't murder us at the start, which was cool. I think I put the Hunted at an A rank. Also a distinctive voice too, which is cool. The Contrarian. I think I'd put the Contrarian at a B rank. I like the Contrarian because the Contrarian seems to always go against the narrator, no matter what, which is great. But, you know, just the aspect of being a Contrarian isn't good. I don't think being a Contrarian by itself is something to strive for. And you don't always need someone just to tell you what to walk the middle path, I guess. So we'll put the Contrarian at a B rank. The voice of the cold is. You know what? We'll just put dead center. I think maybe move it. We'll just do dead center. I think the voice of the cold was useful from time to time, but it's mostly just like a whatever voice. It's just like oh, just let it happen. Oh, you know, whatever, we're dying. Okay, I mean, doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference to me. But I do remember there were some points where the cold felt like it got a little bit of like emotion pumped into it, which was cool. And just like a good middle of the line voice, I think. So I think a B rank for the cold is pretty good. I'll put it in front of the Contrarian. Voice of the cheated. I think we had the voice of the cheated a lot, but I think I'd put it down at like a C rank probably. Just because the voice of the cheated is just a whiner, right? The voice of the cheated just whines about how everything went wrong and then just starts to mess the situation up because it had a bad time. That's what I remember of it, at least. I just distinctly remember it just kind of being like, not in the way, but just trying to like because it got fucked over, it wanted to like make the situation worse for everyone else too, which is not beneficial. The Broken is an interesting one. I think I want to put the Broken at a B rank too. The voice of the Broken, just like the cold, is kind of like it's not the opposite of the cold. Kind of the opposite of the cold a little bit, I guess, but it's just like it's a fun voice when you have it because it's so it's like the opposite of Smitten, right? It kind of sounds like the opposite of the Smitten, like, oh, it doesn't matter, everything is just bad, which can be kind of funny sometimes. And the times where it's around, it's not a very useful voice, generally speaking, but it is a voice that is funny to interact with. Voice of the hero, I think man, I feel kind of tempted to put it at an S rank, but I think we'll put the voice of the hero at a rank. Well, I would put voice of the hero almost S. The only reason I wouldn't give the voice of the hero an S is because the voice of the hero feels very it feels like it lacks a little bit of agency. It's kind of like the generic voice that's like the conglomeration of all the people. Maybe a little bit like your sidekick, a little bit. So it doesn't always feel like it has like a distinct personality, or that it has like a choice. But it's still a great voice and one that continues to guide you. And I like I said, I got chills when the voice showed up during my first ending. Because I was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting this. So I'll put it at like a soft S rank, like a high A soft S. Heroes quite passive unless you're alone with him, yeah. And those moments are fine. I like that, but have you used? Okay. But yeah. And then I mean, pretty easily with the narrator. And how do I add a L? Alright, we'll put the narrator at an L for being a loser. A loser. I will keep the narrator at the L for loser, because ultimately the narrator did lose and I won, because I'm just built separately and the narrator is a little loser boy. But yeah, the narrator is great. from a contrarian likes this, true. The narrator is great. From a story perspective, the narrator is awesome. The way the narrator changes depending on the scene, the way the narrator sometimes gives up, just like, oh, you just resigned yourself to loving this person. Okay, I'm just gonna describe everything then and just give up. It's cool. The kind of background to it is interesting, right? Like I like the narrator as a character, though I would say if there's one voice that bored me the most, it was mostly the narrator, and that's just because the narrator is one that repeats the most. The narrator is always the one that's like, you're on the path in the woods, you walk up towards the cabin is this, you walk down the stairs, right? So the narrator just kind of keeps repeating everything over and over and over again. So it's always you get the most tired of hearing too, but overall still great. Also, I felt like there were more voices than this. I'll screenshot this and post it in Discord, if I remember. Alright, let me jump over here real quick. Okay, like I said, I am unable to show you guys the browser with the Excel spreadsheet in it, with my Google spreadsheet in it, but we are gonna rate this game on a scale from 1 to 10. On our scale, 10 is a flawless masterpiece, 9 is everyone should play this, 8 good experience worth playing, 7 good play if sounds fun, 6 alright play if you like the genre, 5 average, 1 for avoid at all costs. Come on. I think that would be very, very, very hard pressed after having played this game for 4 streams now. One of them doesn't count as like that was like a 1 hour stream or whatever, but after having played this game for as long as we did, and having enjoyed it as much as I did, I think I'd be really... I don't have any doggy treats. I'll give him... I don't want to run downstairs, but I'll be on for next time, and I'll give him a... I'll give him his here. I'll give him this in a second. I'll give him his senior vitamins. And I'll get off on them too. Then I'll owe you one for next time, okay? Like a real treat. He thinks that is a real treat though, to be clear about. Okay, I'll do it right after I rate the game, so I'm not interrupting my train of thoughts too much. I think that I would be hard pressed with how much I enjoyed this game, with how accessible this game feels, with how good the voice acting is, with the graphical look of it, the price point probably. I don't remember how much this game costs. I think with the entire package, it's like I'm pushing the 9 button, of course. I think that it's impossible for me not to put this game in the 9s. And that just comes from the fact that while maybe this game didn't move me as much as other games do, maybe the gameplay wasn't as engaging as other games, I think it's very, very, for the genre, it feels kind of fresh and new to me. As someone that doesn't play a lot in this genre, but this feels pretty fresh and new to me. It feels very different from other games that I've seen and played in this genre, and it feels like it takes a lot of advantages with the formula that it's in, with the visual novel formula. It feels like it's very accessible. It doesn't feel like... obviously, you need to be able to handle the horror of the game. The little horror that there is, right? Which is static. There's no jump scares. There's nothing to suddenly frighten you. But the like gruesome decapitation scenes and gore and stuff like that, you have to handle that. But, you know, I would have no trouble recommending this game to literally anyone. Assuming they can handle that type of stuff, right? So, with that in mind, obviously a 9. I think just because, like I said, the game didn't move me super much, but it was engaging all the way through, and just because I think maybe they could have tightened it a little bit, right? Like maybe there's a little bit too much dialogue, which, to be fair, comes from the fact that they can't anticipate what paths you're gonna take. I think we'll put it at like a 9.2. We'll give Slay the Princess a solid 9.2. It has an 8.9 on OpenCritic, so we are above the critics. And we played this game for, let's take a gander. Dog noises. 19.1 hours. Are they happy dog noises at least? Here, this is the best I can do for you guys. For now. Alright. That's it for me with Slay the Princess. Hopefully my stream browser will work next time. I'm just gonna try restarting my computer or restarting all of Firefox, but I'll do that afterwards. This was a fantastic game. I super enjoyed it, as you can obviously tell by my rating of the game. I super recommend it. I love everyone hanging out there in this. Very helpful, very engaging. What was I gonna say? I'm not entirely sure what I have an idea for a game that I want to play, that I know a lot of people might be interested in me playing. Shouldn't be a super long game, but it's probably gonna be like a medium long game. But with that said, I think I might. I'm gonna look at my list and see if I'm gonna play something a bit shorter before I do that. So I'll be back with some new game on Thursday. Might be some game we played, or might be some shorter game. Might be the game I'm planning to play. Maybe I'll tease it on Discord or whatever. But regardless, I'm gonna give the dogs a treat, and then we're gonna leave this game behind, which was lovely, lovely, lovely. This is one of those games that, like, now that I watch it, I just can't wait to see other people play it. Or now that I play it myself. And that's awesome. Games like that are absolutely awesome. Okay, Alpha is getting her pain med, her anti-inflammatory pain med, with one of these. They look like this. Hi! They look like these. But they only get half at night, so... And Logan is getting 1/2. But he's kind of getting slightly more than half, so... Alpha? This is a vitamin, by the way. This is not a treat, but look at Logan. Oh, heldig gris. Alright. Let's see if anyone's streaming, and then we'll call it quits. Oh! Just as a reminder to everyone present right now, this may be my last evening stream on Tuesdays. I have not made any final decisions yet, but the plan is starting next week. I will start streaming in the mornings instead of the evenings. So from 10 00 North time, GMT +2, 10 a.m. whatever time. I'm gonna try streaming from that due to some real life scheduling things that I wrote about in Discord. So if anyone out there hasn't heard, there's a post about it on Discord. Basically, I just want to be able to do things in the evening. So yeah, I'm gonna try that for a couple of weeks, see if I like it, see if everyone hates me after I do it, see if there's actually stuff to do in the evenings. If there's not, then I might be back regular times. But I feel pretty good about it right now, so probably gonna be the new norm. All right, let's see if someone's streaming. Just so people are aware. Like I said in Discord, I giga apologize if there's someone out there in the Twitch sphere right now that's like, I can only watch you in the evenings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If that's the case, I apologize, but I do I do unfortunately have to make choices that make me happy. I can't stream in the evenings on the off chance that someone really wants to watch. I can only watch you when you're online, true. And hey, like I said, if anyone feels, as I said on Discord, if anyone feels like they're going to be lonely on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be in voice. Just join the Discord, hang out in voice, it's fine. Thank you so much for today. Love and appreciate everyone. Please go check out X chapters if you have not already. Thank you X chapters for raid. I'll do a proper shout out as well as we move into the raid out. My phone is about to ring. I'll be back on Tuesday at our current regular time, 17:00 Nota 5 PM DMT +1, 2, schedule on there in local time zones. Playing some game. I'll probably announce it on Discord beforehand so people know what to expect. Here's this thing. If you're near, feel free to stream on the Discord, all that good stuff. Here's raid messages. Whoops. Here, raid. For subs and non-subs. Teeny Lily is playing Monkey Island 2 Special Edition LeChuck's Revenge. But yeah, I'll try to announce what I'm playing next, so it's not a big surprise. I have an idea for a game that we're playing either next or after that, but I might jump into something a bit shorter in between, just to kind of like have a little bit of a breather. I don't want to play two similar games over and over and over again, but I'll figure it out tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for me. Love you all, appreciate you all. I'm gonna go take a little jog and then maybe eat ice cream. Probably not. I mean, I want to eat ice cream, but oops, wrong alarm. Yeah, that's it for me. Love you all, appreciate you all. Keep fighting foes. See you guys on the flip side, and bye-bye. Oh, whoops, wrong button. That's my car.